Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, where you are or wherever you are. So I'm here at early morning time from my side, really to reflect some things that I really wanted to talk about ever since the World Cup of 2022 has kicked off. But today seems a perfect timing as Morocco has made it through to the semi-final. So yeah, I have some reflections, in terms of uh, this World Cup. For me, Africa is winning in this World Cup, which it's going on in Qatar. It is the 22nd World Cup edition that's going on as we speak. It has just completed its third week, and we are 1 week away from the final game. But of course, there are semi-finals. But what I wanted to talk about is that the 22nd World Cup is happening in the year 2020 22, and what a number, right? Wow. But it's not just only the number, it's also it has quite a few amazing events for Africa. I have here a slide that I try uh, to share, which is the quarter, final match have just they have been completed, and one of the four semi-finalists is Morocco. Can you believe it? Yes, it's Morocco. The first time in history of the World Cup tournaments that an African country has made it to the semi-final. I know for those of you, there has been a number of arguments and conversations that Morocco really does not represent Africa, this and that. But for me, my answer is in a simple question: where is Morocco located geographically? It's in Africa, and it's member also to it's a regular member of the African Union. And with that, I rest my case. So I say, all Africa, it's not only Morocco, actually it's all Africa is winning in this Qatar World Cup 2022 before even all the first match has been kicked off. And I say that not because Morocco has made it to the semi-final, but because we have won it be- before the first match has been kicked off. These are some amazing pictures that I got from the social media. And why do I say that? Why do I say that all Africa is winning in this World Cup? I will explain through 2 points. Number one is, for the first time in history of the World Cup for Africa, all the African teams have been led by African coaches. Not only African coaches, but also a homegrown coach. Because the Ghanaians being led by a Ghanaian coach, the Senegals by a Senegalese coach, the Moroccans by a Moroccan coach. So that was something really special. It's like a monumental moment for Africa. Will this continue? Then, that Africa's continue to be represented or led by African coaches. It's something that time will tell. But for now, we will talk about what's happening or what's unfolding in front of our eyes. Let's just go through them. These are all the five coaches, as you see here in the slides. For the first one, Cameroon. Their coach is called Rigobert Song, or we know him rather as Song. He himself has played for Cameroon national team. He has won African Cup of Nation. He has been a captain 8 times at the African Cup of Nation, and him as a player in the Cameroon national team. The Cameroon team has qualified for 2 World Cups. Here he is. And next is Ghana. The Ghanaian coach he's called Otto Addo. Otto Addo. He's based actually outside of Ghana. He's based in Germany, but he played for Ghana, and he's known really for his love for his country and very passionate. Also, his assistant coach or manager is a Ghanaian, and he actually said that in an interview. Next, we have Morocco. So Morocco's the coaches. I mean, now this picture is very popular all over social media. The Moroccan coach, he's called Walid Regragui. I'm not sure if my pronunciation is correct, but this is a coach loved by his players. The previous coach of Morocco was from Serbia, and as per my reading, that this Serbian coach actually had a hard time in even to communicate with the team, language being a barrier. And also another thing is he actually excluded when he was a coach. He excluded the very known or the famous Moroccan player Hakim Ziyech. But when this Walid came, he included Hakim Ziyech, and you have seen so far the team how they have been playing. Fourth in line, we have Senegal. So the Senegal coach also very much loved by his team players, but he is called Aliou Cissé. Aliou Cissé has been a player for the Senegalese team. He has played for African Cup of Nation. He also, him as a player, the Senegalese team has qualified to the World Cup. In fact, in 2002, him as a player and with other Senegalese team has beaten France on the opening match in 2002. But so far his really milestone is in this same year in 2022. Senegal has won African Cup of Nation with him being as a coach. Next, we have the fifth African team that represented Africa in the World Cup his name is Jalel Kader. Jalel Kader, this is also a Tunisian coach. So this is, such a historical moment for Africa. I mean, you can say it's history in the making. For years, African countries have been heavily dependent on a foreign coach at the expense of our own qualified African coaches. While they can do the job was given for somebody else, for non-African coach. Don't get me wrong, that few African teams have had African coaches, but not all African teams have had African coach at the World Cup. That's what makes it this World Cup special. So African teams have had African coach in previous World Cups, but not like this, where all teams is led by an African coach. The second point that why I say Africa is winning, all Africa is winning in this 2022 World Cup is that how significant is for African teams and fans, and most importantly, the players to be led or coached by Africa, an African coach. But for me, it brings I cannot help but to think that there are two things that unite Africans, regardless of the different problems that we have. Or we have had, or that we are still having. It's culture or music and sport. So this it forges that pan-Africanism. If you allow me, actually, to lend a saying or a statement from the very famous, the daughter of Africa, a Nigerian writer, Chimamanda Adichie. What she said is actually, the World Cup is, and I read, the World Cup is a perfect vehicle for fostering Pan Africanism. And she's really right. Africans are crazy about football, and World Cup is, one of a kind of events that makes you to support African teams, even at the expense of your own team. Meaning, for example, okay, I'm an Ethiopian, but Ethiopia has not qualified for World Cup. Not yet. But let's say that I'm Ghanaian, and when the Ghanaian team is dropped, during the match, when they are dropped out, then I move to the Senegal team and I support, as an African, the Senegal team. And then when the Senegalese team is going, then I move to the Morocco with the Moroccan team and I support the Moroccan team. So this is that kind of sport that makes us really consciously or unconsciously we support. I mean, we forget for a moment, being identifying from where we come from, Ethiopian, Kenyan, South African. But no, not like that. As an African, it's a moment that we have an African mentality. So I really love it for that reason. So it brings that thing from us, meaning Pan-Africanism. So it's really important. There is still, that again, that argument. Moroccans do not see themselves as an African, but rather identify as Arab. But that's also, it's another topic for another day. If you allow me to bring an example, for example, in 1962, when Ethiopia, it was the only time Ethiopia won the African Cup of Nations, and it was playing, the final game was against the United Arab Republic. And if we ask the United Arab Republic at that time, was actually, it was two countries, it was Egypt and Syria, but actually Syria seceded before 1 year or after 1 year of that game. So we want to show, and also there are things that we can bring as an evidence. For example, the Moroccan coach, he said during his interview after they qualified for the quarter final, and I quote, I will read it for you. This is a beautiful moment where you can see in Qatar, actually, a Moroccan supporter fan together with Senegalese fans when Senegal was playing against Ecuador, if I am not mistaken. So the coach Walid, he said, I will read it for you. When he was asked, actually, so are you representing here the Arab world? Then this is what he said: I am not here to be a politician. We want to fly Africa's flag high, just like Senegal, Cameroon, Ghana. We are here to represent Africa. And also, he gave another comment during his interview just before the game, their game against Portugal, where he said, "We want to show that Africa deserves to be here. We have a whole people behind us, the whole continent behind us, and that whole energy behind us." I mean, beautifully said. Nothing to add on this. So African teams perform better. Another evidence that why we need African coach or for the African team to be led by an African is that history shows us or facts shows us that when the African teams are led by an African coach or a homegrown coach or a local coach, they actually perform better. For example, if we see Egypt, when they won, I think they won 7 times African Cup of Nation, and all that times their coach was Egyptian. And also the same goes for Ethiopia when Ethiopia won the 1962 African Cup of Nation. It was also an Ethiopian coach. The same with Ghana when they won the African Cup of Nations. It was also a Ghanaian coach. And the same, this is our recent memory with for the Senegal when they won African Cup of Nations. It was again Aliou Cissé. It was a Senegalese coach. And on the point that, where I said I just wanted to add this point, when the Europeans or a white man come and become a coach for African team, it's sometimes them being, they just get the job easily for being white, but most of the time also it's the failure of our own football federations, African football federations, which are actually most of the stories throughout the continent are very similar. Most of them are very corrupted. There is a huge political influence, and so they influence actually who to pick as a coach of that African team. So there's a lot of politics in the football federation is going on. So I just wanted to add that it's not every time because the Europeans bring themselves fair. I mean, okay, it's a job, but also it's the weaknesses also from our side, to believe in ourselves and to give a chance for those qualified African coaches to lead the team or the national team. That's really important. I just wanted to make that point. And also the other thing what we have to look at is actually, for example, if you take England and or France, they have a lot of qualified African players, but which England team, national team, or even clubs or French clubs or French national team has ever hired an African coach? Actually, the answer is none. None of them has done that and will ever do that because, as per my reading, somebody was commenting. Actually, there was, for an England club, they reached to the point where they cannot find a coach, and there was this African player, and now which is qualified to be a coach. Logically, it laid that the position should be given to that person, but the comment that came out from the club is that we will never do that, meaning appointing an African coach in England. So the same is true throughout Europe. So we should look ourselves in that mirror and give a chance for our African coaches to train, to lead African teams. So that being said, so therefore, my brothers and sisters, World Cup 2022 is a turning point for Africa. All African teams are led by African coaches. And for the first time, an African country has qualified for semi-final. And let's celebrate, on our small step victories while the ultimate goal is actually it's a bigger one, meaning to have big, uh, first of all, to win the World Cup, and also to have those big leagues, Premier Leagues that Europe has, also to bring that to Africa. I really would like to read a statement given by Mario Balotelli at one point. Um, and it reads like this. I challenge you, all African footballers, to put money together with me to leave the rest Europe and build stadiums in Africa and develop our youth. We have money. We can build at least 5 world-class stadium in each country and sign a petition that no players will be exported to Europe ever again. By the way, it's not only Balatoli. This same comment has been given by the famous coach from Portugal, Jose Mourinho. Uh, but of course, he said that I know that I will have hater for saying this. So Balatoli continues. Here in Africa, they will play, meaning the African players will play under love of their sisters and brothers, with no one singing chants against them. We are more talented. We can make our champion league, uh, and then we can also make our leagues quality. We have great talent that's never appreciated abroad. So until that day comes, for now we say Allez-y Maroc, or Allez-y Morocco, and represent Africa. But I have one question for the Moroccan fans, or the Moroccan coach who said that we are here to make the African flag fly high. Can you please add with the Moroccan flag, while the fans support, the Moroccan team, also the African Union flag, which represents every one of us in the continent, and that way we will see, we can see, that really you are representing Africa. And with that being said, Allez-y, Morocco, go and yeah, represent and make us proud. Yeah, I just wanted to reflect on that, and thank you. Until next time, bye bye.